The events of Echoes of Wisdom and its resolve really made me question if we had mistaken who the real antagonist was. I didn't quite feel the joy or triumph after defeating Noel as I thought I would have. I'm going to show you that Noel didn't deserve the punishment he got, and that actually Zelda, the three goddesses, the Tries, you were the villains of this story. Let's look at this story through the eyes of Noel. Darkness that filled all the corners of the empty, non-existent space was calming. There was no noise, colors, feeling, joy, or sadness, just peaceful nothingness. Then one day, that all changed, as Noel is existing in his own world, not bothering anyone, minding his own business. A new entity came about, burning Noel's eyes and disrupting the calm darkness that existed just seconds before. The thing causing the burning sensation turns out to be a new life form, bringing with it a painful light. This light slowly starts to grow brighter and larger, taking up and erasing part of Noel's existence and calm void. Angered and in pain, Noel quickly dissipates this awful light, creating a rift to swallow it away. Emptiness reigns once again, and Noel savors the darkness and slowly calms back down. All is not well, however. Something was created during that event. Anger was created. Now, more than just nothingness fills Noel. He now has feelings and knows what it's like to be unhappy. Though the world he lives in continues to stay dark and soothing, he can't help but feel disturbed and uncomfortable. He doesn't understand these feelings and only gets angrier trying to discern them. And Noel realizes that all this happened because of that horrible light form that tried to exist in his space. Then, during all his turmoil, annoyingly again, more life forms begin tearing away at his existence. Now filled with uncontrollable fury, he creates more and more rifts, always killing the light just as another one shows up. He is then at the point where he is endlessly creating rift after rift, never catching a break, all so that he isn't seared with this bright energy. He begins to tire and can barely hold much longer, as more of the lights are able to manifest faster than he can get rid of them. But he will never give up. The world must stay in darkness in order for peace to thrive. Nothing must reign. This battle goes on for a very long period of time, until slowly the lights cease to pop up. They all slowly disappear, and Noel creates one last rift, eliminating all, and the nothingness is once again regained. But just when he thought he had won, 3 of the brightest lights he had ever seen come tearing through the fabric of his world and shine directly into his eyes. He tries to sink lower into the void, desperately trying to escape, but these lights are so bright that even after going so deep, the light always found him. He tries to create a rift, but this time it's different, and no matter how hard he tries, they won't go away, and no amount of anger could assist his power in erasing these lights. He begins to feel something new. A vulnerable part of him opens up, and he can now feel his fear. Fear that this might be the end of him. The 3 lights grow bigger and are involved in some mysterious actions unknown to Noel. But after a few seconds, the lights grow dull and eventually fade out, and there is darkness. An even darker nothingness than before, except there isn't nothing anymore. Rather, something. Noel feels around and is quickly filled with dread as he realizes him and his peaceful space have been confined to a small circular enclosure. He tries to stretch and reach out, but the walls of his new world limit his freedom. What was once an endless vast space of empty freedom was now a small, tight confinement. He figured that the 3 bright lights brought this prison upon him. Angrily, he begins tearing away at their world, just as they had his. He creates rift after rift, slowly eating away at the earth and sky that had become his prison. But after all these efforts, the goddesses, as he found they were called, created beings called Tries to continually seal up the rifts he made, keeping him trapped within the earth. Noel kept trying to escape the earth and return the world back to his peaceful void, but every time the Tries would reverse his work. Realizing this, he slows down his attempts and formulates a plan to return his world back to the way it was and destroy the evil goddesses. And now you know the rest. Zelda was captured and then was rescued and worked endlessly to aid the goddesses in their quest to contain Null and end him. Having been enlightened by hearing Null's side of the story, do you now also have regrets and guilt as you think about the story through his eyes? The goddesses took everything from him by creating their world over his, and then imprisoned him. Of course, he's going to try to escape and use rifts to do so. Of course, he's going to take people, tries, and really anything in his way in order for him to live in his peaceful void. He was there first. We took away his home and undisturbed existence. And then in the end, Link and Zelda kill him. And you thought Null was the villain?